This is part of the crew from Columbia Pictures early last June when it was filming parts of the movie Starman. The crew was in Iowa for less than a week, and it spent 3 days shooting scenes in southern Delaware and northern Lynn counties. Mark Haskins worked with the second unit director for Starman. Besides logging information for the editors in California, Haskins also did some of the hiring.
And then I'd have to run up and down the street and pull people out of bars or out of the stores or wherever they happened to be at that time of the day, and tell them who I was and what I was doing and try to make them believe that this was actually happening. And
they actually filmed the people, but using the film they shot is something else entirely. The Iowa scenes center around a 1977 red Ford Mustang, in which the main characters, Karen Allen and Jeff Bridges, are driving from Wisconsin to Arizona. Bridges and Allen never came to Iowa. Doubles were used in their place. Here's what appears to be the extent of the film used from the Iowa shooting session.
All of you that saw that flash in the sky last night, it wasn't the end of the world, and it wasn't a burning airline. No, sir. According to the AP Wire, one of the biggest...
If you missed it, you'll have to go to the theater to watch it again. But if you want to know what Starman is about, here it is in a nutshell. Remember the Voyager missions which sent back pictures from Jupiter and Saturn? Well, Voyager 2 manages to find its way to an alien planet where intelligent life listens to the message Voyager carries from Earth. Then they send someone of their own to Earth, and he ends up as Jeff Bridges. You can try to figure it out yourself, or you can go see the movie. Either way, be sure to look quickly if you want to see Iowa. Scott Malidi, TV9 Eyewitness News.
Worthington, Iowa is probably about as far from the Hollywood fast track as you can get. But here on the main drag in the town hall, which doubles as the fire station, Hollywood has come. This is command central for the filming of the Richard Gere movie Farm of the Year. Gere is nowhere in sight, but 200 extras are getting suited up for their shot at stardom. It's New York costume designer Shea Cunliffe's challenge to convert this batch of farmers, insurance salesmen, and TV newsmen into convincing citizens from the 1950s.
So what I'm really trying to do is recreate the photographs I've looked at and make my scene look as close as possible to what it looked like then.
Shea has gathered thousands of clothing artifacts from antique stores, theaters, attics, and rummage sales. Her cosmetologists have even studied the close-crop hairstyles of the times and learned that to make me look like an eager young reporter covering the 1959 Iowa visit of Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev, my treasured mustache had to go.
We try to encourage people not to get freaked out by the differences in the clothing and just to kind of look at it as an adventure, historical adventure. Okay, so hopefully not a hysterical adventure, but...
Shea and Aaron are very proud of their profession, but admit that unlike the actors they serve, their best work is rarely noticed.
Yes, I think if you notice the costumes, you've done something wrong, unless it's a character who's meant to look outrageous.
So you're most happy when people don't notice your work?
I'm afraid so, yes.
The transformation can be amazing, but doesn't this guy look just a little bit like Pee Wee Herman?
Stand by, here we go. Rehearsal, full rehearsal. Background. Bus.
On command, an otherwise quiet street in Dubuque comes to life, temporarily transformed into a Hollywood movie set, 1,200 miles away from Hollywood.
Please do not look at the camera. Like any other day on a city street, the camera's not here. Do not look at us.
But it's hard not to stare. It's not every day a major motion picture is filmed in Iowa. It's not every day Iowans get to come see the bright lights, the cameras, and the stars. The star of Shoeless Joe is heartthrob Kevin Costner.
Here we go. Ready and action.
The movie Shoeless Joe is a movie about a baseball player, but it's not about baseball. It's a movie about an Iowa farmer, but it's not about farming. Shoeless Joe is a movie about dreams coming true, about a son reconciling with his father.
Actually, a story of an Iowa corn farmer who builds himself a... Actually, he's out working in his field one afternoon, and and the voice from on high talks to him, but it doesn't sound like John Huston imitating God. It sounds like Vin Scully over a baseball stadium PA system, and the guy says, "If you build it, he will come."
What Kevin Costner believes the voice is telling him, in the role of the Iowa farmer, is if he builds a baseball diamond in his cornfield, his father's idol, shoeless Joe Jackson of the 1919 Chicago White Sox, will come back to life to play baseball once again. It's a comedy, producers say, that will give you a good, warm feeling by movie's end.
Everybody that's read it has said, wow, I got to do this movie. I mean, a lot of times in our business, we'll have to go out and convince an actor or a director to do a project and, give them a song and dance why they should do it. In this case, boy, I mean, everybody that read the script just says, I have to do this picture.
One of the people who said that is actor Kevin Costner, a hot ticket at the box office these days.
Well, I like movies. I'm not necessarily a fan of sequels. And I like for movies to have a fresh, original feeling, and this movie has that. I mean, it's kind of thing that when you go into the theater, you want that to happen. I believe that people don't want to know what happens in a movie and want to think that the story is something they haven't heard before. That's what I like.
It's no accident the movie Shoeless Joe is being filmed in Iowa. Even though it's a movie about an Iowa farmer, the producers considered locations in Canada, Colorado, Nebraska, and Illinois before choosing Iowa. It was the Iowa Film Office that sold the state to the movie's makers. The job of the film office is to act as a liaison between movie companies and the towns where they film, and to make the state an attractive location for movie producers. Before the Iowa Film Office was established in 1986, there was no central agency to handle the thousands of inquiries from the movie industry.
Give me a reason. Let's be reasonable. Somebody give me $1,500 for this job. Give me a reason. Just be reasonable.
Ask him to be reasonable. Ask him to work out something with the Ivy.
So you can take our equipment. Tomorrow you can come out here and you can haul off all our stock. But when you come out to pull us off this land, you better come with more than a piece of paper. Because we're safe. We're safe right here.
Despite not having a central agency, movie makers still came to Iowa to film such productions as Country, yet the movies, Pennies from Heaven, Children of the Corn, and others, were few and far in between. So the state took a gamble and created the Iowa Film Office. It's a gamble that has paid off, with more movie producers coming to Iowa.
When we first started really tracking this was about 3 years ago, and the film office brought in about $1.5 million into the state from the film industry. Last year that took a 100% jump and went to $3.5 million. And this year it's up to $7.5 million. So we're taking 100% jumps every year. So it's growing all the time for us.
Growing perhaps, but it's still a very small piece of the multi-billion-dollar movie location business. Competition among the states for the glitter of Hollywood is fierce. And the more a film office can do for a filmmaker, the greater chance it has of winning the hearts and pocketbooks of a film's producers.
What it does, it takes the amount of research that I would normally have to do myself, and it cuts about maybe 4 months of research time off of what I would have to do should Wendol Jarvis's office not exist. I would have to come out here. I would have to send a staff out here. I'd have to put together all of the research facilities. What Wendol Jarvis and his team do for me is right at my fingertips. I pick up a phone call and go, I need, where do I find? And boom, it's there, right there now.
To make the Iowa Film Office more competitive with other states, Iowa lawmakers doubled the budget for the office from $55,000 last year to $114,000 this year. It's a textbook case of it takes money to make money.
Last year, for every dollar invested in the film office, $147.63 were returned to the people of Iowa. And I think any broker would love to make an investment like that. And so I'm quite pleased with that return.